What is up, Hybrid Beasts? Bob here with the Hybrid Beast program. Today we're going to talk about fat burners on the Hybrid Beast program. Okay, most people who jump on this are going to be guys who have dad bods. Like, they've got a decent amount of muscle, maybe they were in shape at some point in their life, but they've just gotten a little bit chubby. Okay, so they want to maintain their muscle, maybe even build some muscle, but most of all, they want to strip away the fat so they can see the definition in the muscle they've already got. And that's one of the ways that I can get you a shredded beach bod in under 6 months, is by concentrating a lot on losing fat. So it goes to follow these guys would be interested in taking a pill to get better results faster and more easily. And I really caution you against that. Okay, if you've been following me at all, you'll know I've always been against using fat burners. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain my general problems with fat burners, and then I will discuss my extra special warning against fat burners on the Hybrid Beast program. All right, so first of all, even my low carb cutting and bulking program, link down in the description, check it out, which is basically like a low carb dietary approach to, cutting fat or building muscle and staying lean. I have an actual section that explains how to use different fat burners, okay? And the reason is I recommend against it, but I know some people are going to do it anyway, so I want to give you the best information, my best experience, so that you could actually use them safely and effectively and you don't hurt yourself, okay? So I explained how to use ephedrine, caffeine, aspirin, yohimbine, the basic legal fat burning supplements, okay? Now, why do I recommend you don't use them? The reason I recommend you don't use them is, first of all, they don't work. There is no such thing as a pill that you take before you eat a pizza and suddenly the calories from the pizza disappear off into space so you don't get fat. That just doesn't exist. What fat burners really do most of the time is they are just stimulants, so they give you energy and they blunt your hunger. Like, I'm not a big fan of intermittent fasting, but the people who are tell you if you get hungry, drink a cup of black coffee. The caffeine in the black coffee will blunt your hunger and you could keep your fasting window open longer, okay? And that's basically the way it works with dieting. If you are on a diet and you take some caffeine, for instance, okay, it is going to blunt your hunger so you can go on a lower calorie diet for a longer time, or more of a caloric deficit, okay, for a longer time. Another thing it's going to do is it's going to give you energy, so you'll be in a better mood if you're in a massive caloric deficit and you're taking some caffeine. You'll be in a better mood, you'll be more productive, you'll be able to concentrate better, your metabolism doesn't slow down when you go on a diet, but what happens is you expend as little energy as possible, okay? Because you're not getting energy from food, so you're just kind of like hanging out and moving as little as possible. And if you take some stimulant, like let's say some caffeine, your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis will go up. So even though you have no energy from the food because you're low calories, the stimulant will give you the energy to stand up and pace around the room when you're talking, to move around more, to move your hands more, to be more animated, even though you actually, normally would be just a sloth moving as little as possible because you have no energy. So that's really how the fat burners work, okay? That's how caffeine works. Back in the 90s, we used to have the ECA stack, ephedrine, caffeine, aspirin. Basically, ephedrine and caffeine were two stimulants that work through two different chemical pathways to give you energy. So you got like double the energy, okay? Double the hunger blunting, okay? And supposedly the aspirin, which a lot of people stopped using after a while, was so that when you liberate your fat cells into the blood or whatever, it's supposed to kind of clear them out better. The bottom line is ephedrine and caffeine were the basis of the stack. But like I said, they didn't really burn anything. What they did is they allowed you to diet harder, longer, okay, and maintain your non-activity activity thermogenesis, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis, to basically get more out of your diet and get more out of your workout, but they didn't actually burn fat, okay? More recently, yohimbine came out. Yohimbine, I don't recommend you use it. I have tried it. I didn't really get very good results from it. It did make me feel sick, okay? Just like ephedrine and caffeine makes me feel sick. So I'm not a very big fan of it. Once again, what this does is it supposedly helps you liberate your stubborn fat areas. So with me, with my lower back fat, that's the last to go, okay? But once again, it's not a fat burner. All it does is if you diet really hard and exercise really hard and get really lean and you have a little bit of fat that's really hard to get rid of, supposedly yohimbine will help you go ahead and lose that little bit of fat. Okay, but it's not magic. It doesn't burn fat. It just allows you, in conjunction with a really good diet, in conjunction with a really good workout program, in conjunction with having already lost a lot of fat, it'll help you lose that last little bit of fat. And even that is to be contested, because from what I understand, yohimbine has been proven to probably help women with stubborn fat, but not necessarily men. Okay, so court's still out on whether yohimbine works or not. I've never gotten results from it. I have gotten sick from it. I've never heard of anybody getting results from it. Like I said, those are basically the three big fat burners that you can get over the counter. Okay, then you start to get into a little bit more black or grayish, blackish market kind of stuff. Clenbuterol, everybody's like, oh, eat Clen and trend hard. Okay, clenbuterol is basically European ephedrine. Okay, everything about ephedrine, Clen is doubles down on it. Okay, so it's a bronchodilator. If you want to get ephedrine in America right now, you can't, but you could buy Primatene tablets or Bronkaid tablets, and basically they are asthma medications with ephedrine in it. Okay, it's really good if you have asthma. I do have asthma. Okay, so basically if you take those pills, it will clear out your bronchia. It will make you be able to breathe easier if you have mild asthma problems. And that's basically what clenbuterol is. It's an asthma medication that they use in Europe. It's not allowed in America. It actually supposedly has a muscle sparing effect, a mini anabolic effect, a muscle sparing effect. So if you are in a very low calorie diet and you're training hard, okay, it will help you spare the muscle you have so you don't lose as much muscle. It will help you have energy and concentration and blunt your hunger, but it will not burn fat in itself. Okay, so once again, we're getting back to the same thing. All these things do, even Clen, all they do is help you have energy, think better, etc. And they help you blunt your hunger when you're on a serious diet. And like I said, Clen might have an ability, or might give you more of an ability to maintain your muscle, okay? Get past that, you get T3, T4. I know absolutely nothing about that. I do know that they are, thyroid hormones. People will be prescribed some of these if they have an underactive thyroid. So that is more of what you might call a fat burner. Okay, it may actually stimulate you to burn more fat even at rest. Okay, and basically, like I said, the way that I've heard about that from bodybuilders and bodybuilders in YouTube videos, bodybuilders in forums, basically a lot of them say that it just burns through everything. T3, T4 will burn through your muscle just as much as your fat. Okay, so number one, it's not the kind of thing where, oh, I'm gonna have some T3, some T4, and then have a half of a pizza and everything's gonna be fine. It's first of all, you still need to be in a deficit, but second, like I said, it also burns away your muscle. So what the hell is the point in taking something that's gonna burn up your muscle? Okay, and of course, there's also the thought about T3, T4, if you take it, but you don't need it to increase your thyroid, then you may become dependent upon it. You may burn out your thyroid or whatever. There are bodybuilders who have taken T3, T4 now, they just need it because their shit don't work no more. Okay, fine. And then you get into, DMT? I'm really going out on a limb here. It's classed as a fertilizer, I believe. And what it basically does is it increases your your body heat just increases. People die from it, okay? The interesting thing about this is, from what I've heard, there's a minimum amount to get a decent effect, and the minimum amount to get a decent effect is really close to the maximum amount to not kill you. So in order to take enough like it's a DMT or whatever it's called. Like in order to take enough to get an effect, you're getting really close to the amount that will kill you. And there are some people that have died of that. There was a girl back in the 90s. She was in all the muscle magazines as like, a really hot fitness chick, fitness model. And I just looked up some of the people from the 90s, bodybuilders, men, women, fitness people, whatever. And I looked her up, and she was actually still active she was a trainer out in LA. She had like a couple of actors and actresses she was training. She was training a couple of porn stars. She was extraordinarily attractive herself. And all of a sudden it turns out that she was found dead in a bathtub. She was very lean all the time. And the bottom line is when you take this DMP, I believe, like I said, it increases your body heat. So what they tell you to do is if you fuck up and take too much, to go into a cold bathtub to keep yourself from dying. Well, she got in a cold bathtub and she died anyway. Okay, so, like I said, rest in peace. I'm not talking shit, but I am saying, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how she died. Because how many people die, in bathtubs who are ripped to shreds? Okay, so like I said, so we're getting basically from like the things that you can get over the counter, that you can get legally, that aren't necessarily going to be bad for you, don't really have an effect besides allowing you to diet longer and harder, killing your hunger, giving you energy. You start to get into cleanse. Maybe it has a little bit more of an effect in terms of, like I said, a muscle sparing effect, like a mini anabolic effect, so you maintain muscle. It also may cause, scar tissue on your heart. There you go with that one. And then, T3, T4, it burns through muscle as well as fat, which is nonsensical. I mean, I don't have enough muscle to spare, so why would anybody, have enough muscle to spare? And on top of that, you may just end up having to take it for the rest of your life, so you fuck your thyroid, and then you get DMP, or is it DMT, DMP, whatever. Will literally kill you, okay? So like I said, at the end of the day, what I recommend that you do is you just go on a normal diet, okay, and you train hard. Now, another thing that I don't like about this is when I put someone on a diet, I put them on a massive caloric deficit. Like you diet really hard at first, okay? You get rid of the slop weight, the weight that just goes off because you cleaned up your diet, you increased your water intake, electrolytes, whatever, all that slop weight. You lose a lot of weight really quickly. Then you lose weight quickly because the more fat you have, the more easily it is to liberate it and use it for energy. So you'll be losing fat pretty quickly because you'll be in a caloric deficit and you won't feel bad. But I want you to feel your hunger because I want you to be able to tell me when you are hungry. Like when you eat a meal and, the first time when I got shredded, I lost like 40 pounds in 4 months. But the first time I got shredded, I used to have a joke where it was like, I knew it was time to increase my calories when I would eat a meal and feel like more hungry after the meal. It's like an insult. Like I'm really starving and I eat a little bit of chicken and some almonds and I'm like, now I'm really hungry. Like now I'm really pissed off, okay? So I want you to be able to feel when you're like hungry, not craving, not a little bit of hunger, but like you got this like panic. You're like, oh my God, like when am I gonna eat again? Okay, God, 2 hours and 59 minutes until my next meal. Oh my God, all I can think about is food. I want you to feel that because that's when we have to increase your calories. Okay, so what might happen is if you blunt your hunger and you can't feel this and you don't know what's going on, what's going to happen is you're going to really need more energy, okay, and you're going to be burning yourself out. So you're going to get at the point where the caffeine, the ephedrine, whatever it is you're taking doesn't really give you that effect anymore. So you're just starving anyway, you have no energy anyway. And you've been for so long in way too much of a deficit. You're not making gains in the gym, you're not getting good workouts because you've been taking this stuff and just masking the symptoms of too low of a caloric intake. So unless you just want to lose fat at all costs and you don't care about your performance and you don't care about your muscle mass, first of all, if all you care about is losing weight at all costs, you don't want to jump on any of my programs because they're all performance-based, they're all based to make you stronger. But another thing is, like I said, unless you want to do that, there's no point. It makes a lot more sense to go in a massive deficit, get rid of the slop weight, get rid of the fat, and then as you start to get hungrier, increase your calories. But you're going to be increasing your workouts the whole time. You're going to be, increasing your muscle mass the whole time. So even though you're increasing your calories, you're, first of all, still in a massive deficit. Like you start in a massive deficit, increase your calories a little bit, you're still in a huge deficit. And second, you're actually going to be exercising more and more. So the volume of your exercises, the intensity of your exercises is increasing. So maybe you're in a huge caloric deficit, then you increase your calories, but you increase your output. So you're still in a massive caloric deficit, even though you keep increasing your calories. So I want you to feel the hunger to let me know when we need to increase your calories, okay? So those are all reasons why I, in general, don't want anybody to use fat burners. Now, let's specifically talk about the Hybrid Beast program. The Hybrid Beast program combines bodyweight calisthenics, static holds, with high intensity cardio. Plyometrics, burpees, jump rope intervals, basically where you go from like 0 to 100, like you train your body to just go all out for a short amount of time and then take a short break, and in this short break be able to recover 100% and then go all out again. So think of it like this: you get jacked up on a pre-workout, you get jacked up on some ephedrine and caffeine, okay, and your heart's beating a mile a minute and you go to the gym. Now your heart's beating already crazy. And now you want to go ahead and go burpee intervals, jump rope intervals, plyometric intervals. You want to go 0 to 100, 0 to 100. Like really increase your heart rate for a few seconds and then take a break for a few seconds and really increase your heart rate and really take a break. But your heart's already beating out of control. So imagine, number one, how unhealthy that is, in terms of like just dropping dead of a goddamn heart attack, how unhealthy it is, but also like how not productive it is, okay? Like the Hybrid Beast program trains you to perform. Okay, one thing I always talk about is like in combat sports, for instance, you always see the one guy, the guy, like it's not like boxing, kickboxing, MMA, wrestling, whatever, firefighting, anything. It's not like you just like slowly, let's do this and jog for an hour. It's like a flurry of activity and then like a short break, circle around, flurry of activity, short break, circle around. And what you want to do is you want to train your body to go when you're like throwing punches, when you're going for a takedown, when you're scrambling on the ground, when you're kicking a door down and like charging a room, you have to go from 0 to 100 immediately, boom. Then when you come up to a break, you need to go ahead, you need to slow your slow your heart rate, slow your breathing down so that you can go into the next room, okay? Or, you circle a little bit, then you have to throw the next flurry of punches. So you're training yourself to go from 0 to 100 to be effective, but also in a few seconds to recover and then go from 0 to 100 again. And like I said, if you have two guys fighting and one guy, they fight, flurry, 100%, this guy recovers 100% in a few seconds, this guy's at 80%, flurry, this guy recovers to 100% in a few seconds. This guy's at 60%. Like this guy's gonna get more and more tired as it goes along. But this guy who's trained himself to go 100% recover, 100% recover, 100% recover, he's gonna be at the same pace the entire time, where this guy gets weaker and weaker and weaker. Who do you think's gonna win? Okay, so it's counterproductive to be doing a performance-based workout when you're training your body to go from 0 to 100 and then recover, when you go into the gym and your heart's already racing, okay? So it's dangerous and it's counterproductive to be having to increase your heart rate and everything with a stimulant like a pre-workout or a fat burner before you go ahead and do the Hybrid Beast program, okay? So like I said, these are all reasons why I really recommend that you do not use any stimulants on the Hybrid Beast program. Like I said, it's counterproductive, it's dangerous, and you're gonna get much better results if you just press the diet and the workouts as hard as you can, but not too hard. As soon as you start to get to the point where you need to increase your calories, we're gonna increase your calories. You're still gonna be in a deficit, you're still gonna be losing fat, but you're also gonna be building more muscle and doing better in the gym, like better performance in terms of strength, stamina, everything, okay? And that is gonna get you over the 2, 3, 4, 6 months that you need to get jacked, shredded. It's gonna give you a better body by the end than if you were to just do everything you can to starve yourself for the first month or two. Your performance goes to shit, your mood goes to shit, you burn muscle, you don't build any muscle, and then after that, you need to get off the stimulants anyway because they're making you feel like horse shit, they're not working, and then you end up eating everything in sight because you have no energy, and you basically end up worse than you were in the beginning. It makes more sense to drop your calories massively, increase them, and slowly burn fat over the 6 months, slowly build muscle over the 6 months. And like I said, depending upon how out of shape you are, an average guy with a dad bod could lose 40 to 60 pounds in 6 months, okay? Very easily possible. So unless you're really obese, if you take it slow, do 2, 4, 6 months, you will be absolutely jacked and shredded by the end of the 6 months. That's the point of the Hybrid Beast program. Not a quick overnight result, but a quick 6-month complete change in your physique. If you're interested, go ahead and check out the Hybrid Beast Brotherhood. Links down in the description below. Massive discount right now. I'm gonna be increasing the prices as I go, but I wanna give everybody a chance to jump in now for literally a third of the price as of me posting this video, okay? Have any questions about fat burners, about workouts, about anything, ask me them down below. I'll go ahead and make a video to answer them. Any questions about the Hybrid Beast program, like I said, check it out down below, send me an email or just ask down in the comment section. I'll go ahead and give you an answer to that too. Like I said, 2/3 off, like 1/3 of the price right now for the Hybrid Beast program. It's a 6-month program that includes one-on-one calls with me. Go ahead and check that out. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. Aside from that, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.